Hey, yesterday, June 5th, 2009, I turned 40. Today, the 14,611th day of life, I begin my next 40. I want to say thank you to all the well wishers, to the people who sent email, to the people who called and left messages wishing me happy birthday, and to the people who've been in my life for the first 40. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I want to give a special shout out to all the folks who grew up with me in Inkster. In many ways, I learned most of the skill set, most of the things that enabled me to be successful up until this point. I've learned from the knuckleheads I grew up with in Inkster, who taught me to stand up for what I believed in, who taught me to never give up, who taught me the value of loyalty. I got that from a number of people, some of whom end up being drug addicts, some of whom who aren't here with us because of violence. I learned it from them, first and foremost. I also want to give a shout out to my family, both my parents who made the decision to have me, for my sister and my brother, and then for my wife and my 5 children. I wouldn't have made it here without you, and to a certain extent, when times got rough, it was thinking about my family that enabled me to continue. Right? I also want to give a shout out along those lines to members of my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, and a shout out to Michigan Mafia, to my students at Hopkins, and to all the people in the academy who've I've come into contact over the years. I also want to talk about on my Facebook status, I said that the first 40 years of my life represents the warm-up. What does that mean? You come on. Come on. Say hi. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
All right, go on. I told you to say. Joys of fatherhood. So what does that mean? The first 40 years represents the warm-up. What I decided to do at this December 31st of 2008, as I was crawling into it, right, just hoping I could make it to the next day. And I did the same thing December 31st of 2007, the same thing December 31st of 2006. I decided that I wouldn't crawl into the end of the year anymore. So I figured that I was turning 40 the next year, that I'd actually rebranded, use this opportunity to, as Stella would say, get my groove back. But it wasn't just about getting my groove back. It was about rebuilding, recreating, but reminding myself of who I was, of what I was meant to do, of what my strengths were, about what my capacity was. As a parent, as a father, as a professor, as an intellectual, as an activist, as a teacher, as a friend, as a mentor, etc. Right? So when I'm first thinking about it, I'm thinking about it as far as me. I'm thinking about, what I'm going to do. I knew I was going to travel to talk about my new book project. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be the 40's a New 40 tour, right? I'm going to make sure I celebrate each and every space the whole year, making it to 40. Because me being the child of science fiction, me growing up in Inkster, I did not imagine life after 32. For me growing up being born in 1969, 32 was 2001, and 2001 was the future. So for all I know, I'd be in a clone body or colonizing Mars. I had no idea what life would be, right? So me making it to 40 is achievement. But what does it mean this next 40, right? What that means this next 40 is what it meant for me was taking this year and celebrating with all my friends, with the people who love me, with my family members, with my fraternity brothers, with people in the academy who cared about me and knew what I was meant to be. But it's also about crystallizing and saying, okay, these are what my strengths are. This is what I bring to the table. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what my place is in the universe. And taking this moment to find that and to be a better partner, to be a better husband to my wife, to be a better father to a certain extent, to be a better scholar. But what that last point means is not so much being more what's the word I'm looking for? more serious, right? Oh, he's not serious. He's not really a serious guy. No, what it mean was, okay, this is the type of research I like to do. This is the type of change I want to see, right? It's about actually being that change in my scholarship, in my work, in my classroom, with my kids, and with my family. Right? So it's about doing that. And in the process of figuring all that stuff out, I realized it was about me making these changes. Right? It was about me deciding every day to make a choice to be a better husband for my wife. Right? But at the same time, it was also about me actually being a model for others to see. Not a quote unquote a positive role model, but a model where people could actually see me struggling with this stuff. People can actually see me not succeeding, but figuring out a way to take the adverse circumstances that I was dealing with and to actually make it into opportunities for growth, right? That's what it was about. That's what this year has been about for me. And to the extent that I've got another 40, 50 years in the game, that's what this next period is about. It's about crystallizing this stuff in a way that the people around me, that the people who come into contact with me can say, okay, there's a better life out there. There's a better way of living out there. There's a better way to be. And it's not about being like me, but it's a better way to be you, right? So I've never been about me. I've always been about building capacity. Right? Building the capacity of people to govern themselves. Building the capacity of people to be better partners, to be better friends, to be better workers, to be better scholars. Right? That's what this next period is about. Right? That's what this next period is about. Not just for me, but for all of us. Because the bottom line is that my 40 is not my parents' 40. For those of you who are approaching middle age, our middle age is not our parents' middle age, because the world is changing literally as we speak. And I'm not just talking about things like Twitter and Facebook that didn't exist just 5 years ago, that have changed the world in tremendous ways. I'm talking about the fact that GM is going bankrupt, right? That the city of Detroit is moving into a new shape. Cities like it, the world is moving into a new shape, the form of which we don't quite understand, and we're going to have to step up our game in order to deal with that, right? So on that note, again, I want to say thank you to everybody, to all the people who've sent me well wishes or even just thought about me. And I want to say that if you thought this first 40 years have been a trip, wait till you see the next 40. Peace.
Peace out.
Ha ha!